Hey, it's been a week since I last uploaded a video. It feels like a freaking month. Usually I upload one every, 2 to 3 to 4 days. But right now I am dry on games. I mean, I can go back to Destiny, which I'm doing, but I'm very involved in single player right now. So as far as PS4 videos go, you are going to be seeing a lot of Destiny multiplayer and whatever the Crucible and things like that, blah blah blah. A lot of no raids because they've still got that you need 6 friends in order to play it kind of thing. But you know, the events, the strikes, whatever. So PS4, that's where you're gonna be seeing. For PC, there's really nothing new for Magic Duels yet. So I mean, you've got the Eldritch Moon and Shadows over Innistrad, and I can, keep trying to open packs from that and be able to make some cool Eldritch Moon decks. But as far as Standard goes, Magic's just been trash lately. Absolute trash. Dragons of Tarkir was really, for me, the last interesting part of Magic, and as far as Standard goes, and I think even then, Dragons was a super big disappointment for me. I mean, Khans of Tarkir was a freaking pinnacle of Magic Standard. The whole Theros Khans, cycle was just absolute fucking gold. If you were gonna dump all your money into Standard, that is where you put it. Freaking Theros through Khans, because, you had the Jeskai, Infinite Reflector, whatever. It was such a long time ago, but Jeskai Ascendancy just popped off, and it was amazing. And you had the Siege Rhino, which people hated more than blue counterspells itself. But yeah, there is a lot of really cool stuff, and I think after Dragons, it just kind of fucking dropped off. Origins was trash. Battle for Zendikar was trash. Oath of the Gatewatch had some cool stuff in it. Shadows over Innistrad was acceptable. Eldritch Moon was entertaining, but nothing really expanded Standard gameplay, and it still feels like people are kind of struggling to make interesting decks in Standard right now. But if you're paying attention at all to any of the new sets coming out, Kaladesh looks fucking hilarious and amazing and fun and interesting, and it seems as if they're breaking barriers and they're doing new stuff and they're taking risks and making really crazy cards like pay 50 life to deal 50 damage to a player, or for a player to lose 50 life. And, when I posted that on Facebook, people would be like, is this a real card? Like, is this a joke? No, this is a real card. There are vehicles, fucking race cars, and giant Star Cruiser ships that you can pilot. And a friend of mine had a really good idea, because the way piloting a vehicle works is with the crew mechanic. So if it says crew 3, tap a creature with a power of 3 or greater, and you'll be able to attack with that vehicle as if it's a creature. Otherwise, it just stays an artifact vehicle type, which is awesome. So people are going to make race car decks and starship decks, and an entire new type of Magic is going to come out of these artifact vehicles, and it's amazing. But anyway, thinking about the type of creatures that are going to pilot these vehicles, humans, sure, whatever, but you people are going to make it so that goblins are piloting these vehicles, and plants are piloting these vehicles, and saprolings even might be piloting these vehicles. And so my friend's like, okay, I'm going to make a Snakes on a Plane deck. I'm going to make a deck that is just snake tokens piloting these starships. Well, they're not actually starships, but they're just flying fucking pirate ships and stuff like that. And even though that's probably going to be complete bullshit and not work at all, that's absolutely hilarious. And then after that, we got Amonkhet, which is a Yu-Gi-Oh plane, pretty much. We've got an Egyptian plane that Nicol Bolas lives on. So that is where Nicol Bolas has been hiding all this time, on the plane of Amonkhet. So we're going to see a lot of Egyptian theme cards. Nicol Bolas is coming back. I'm hoping for a Vengeful Pharaoh reprint, just because he's just one of those underrated underdog Magic cards that you pretty much are only going to see in Commander, in like a mono black zombie Ghoul Color Giza deck. And I just love him. I just think he's a really cool card, because that's like the only card in Magic I can think of that has an Egyptian theme to it. Besides like really far back, and you've got kind of like a Mayan theme going on with like the 1-drop draw 3 cards. I forget what that card was called, but I think it was Ancestral Visions. But, you know, it had a little bit of like an Aztec pyramid in the background. So that was the closest we ever got. Anyway, I digress. 6 minutes in. So 6 minutes in, let's talk about what we're looking at right now. I'm playing Commander on a program called Cockatrice. Prefer to just call it Dickatrice, because why not just point out the elephant in the room? They named their program Penis Trice. Cockatrice. Okay, yes, I'm not 4 years old, but it's still funny to me. So we're playing Commander, and I'm sorry that I left Haro there, the sorcery, in the casting zone. I didn't put it in the graveyard. It just kind of sits there until the next time I put something in the casting zone. But if you want to play Commander and you want to be able to use whatever the hell cards you want, if you want to play Modern, Standard, Legacy, Vintage, Casual, Freeform, anything like that, Pauper Commander, you can download this program. And at first it's a little confusing as to how to get online, but you just look up, you know, the code to get online, and it's like Woogerworks, something like that. So you go to woogerworks.com, WOOGER works, and you look for Cockatrice. You give that thing a download. Anything you need help in, just Google it, and you'll be able to find it. That's what I did. On my girlfriend's laptop, I wasn't able to download it because I didn't have the right update for Adobe or Flash or something. Just download that. It's quick, it's painless, and you'll be able to play. So, other than that, this program is very manual. You're going to be manually putting in each card in your deck unless you go on Tapped Out and you download your deck into a text file off of Tapped Out. Then the next thing you need to do after that is to load that deck from your desktop or your downloads or whatever into Cockatrice, add your Commander, or if you're not playing Commander, your deck's just good as it is, and then just save deck as, and then save it into your quick access. And there you go. Your deck is made in, I don't know, 30 seconds. So, I mean, you got to spend the time on Tapped Out to build it, but as far as actually making it in Cockatrice, it'll take probably like 30 seconds. So what we're playing right now is casual non-French. Non-French means you can play the tutors, the 1-drop instant tutors that put cards on top of your deck. Those are legal, as well as Soul Rings in dual decks. So normally in 1v1, stuff like Soul Rings or anything to accelerate your deck super fast is banned, but you know, we're just going super casual for this. These are all decks. The decks that the next 3 decks I'm going to be playing on here are not going to be competitive. These are going to be decks that I have built in real life, and they've been 100% translated to Cockatrice. So this is my Selvala deck, and this is Selvala the Broken. I mean, the original Selvala could go infinite as well, so she's kind of been broken in no matter, you know, what card she is. But this is your ultimate mana source in a mono green deck. So I just took out all my giant creatures out of my, you know, trade binder, and I traded for, you know, as many better giant creatures as I could, as many, you know, ramps as I could, and double manas, and cast creatures for free, and protecting my creatures, and doubling mana, and things like that. So you're going to want, in your ideal competitive Selvala deck, an Umbral Mantle, And Selvala by itself, Umbral Mantle, is untap for 2 mana or 3 mana or whatever, and then give that creature +2/+2. So if you've got a creature that's a 4/4, Selvala, pay 1 green mana, she taps for 4, pay the 3 to untap her, give her +2/+2, and then use the extra 1 to tap her again. And it's just going to constantly keep building, and you can just, since it's not uncontrollably infinite, since you can say when you want to stop, you can do it as many times as you want. So Valley goes to 9,000 power and toughness. You've got over 9,000 green mana in your mana pool. Cast wherever the hell you want, and swing for lethal if they can't block. And if, she has trample and can be blocked. So there's a lot of really cool things you can do with Selvala, but it's mainly, casting. If you're not planning on being super competitive and wanting to win like right away, you still want to have fun, but you want to have fun competitively, which is the category I like to fit into. Not infinite turn bullshit and stuff like that, but have fun, but be competitive and have the goal to win. So you're going to want your Eldrazi Titans in this deck, Kozilek Butcher of Truth, and Ulamog, Ulamog the Infinite Gyre. So you're going to want that stuff in there. Just cards off the top of my head that are important staples: Asceticism, Beast Within, Croson Grip. You're going to want your mana searchers like Cultivate and Kodama's Reach. Birds of Paradise, just so that maybe you can use the birds to tap for Selvala's 1 mana, and then you can use the rest of your lands to tap for whatever you want, but it's just good to have extra mana in here. Triumph of the Hordes, which you can see in my hand right now, is a way to just alternatively win the game, which is my goal at the moment. I am waiting to play Triumph until I know that no matter if they block with everything, I will win the game. So I'm just going to load the board with creatures until I know I'm good to go, and I'll fall on attack, and we'll see what happens. But until then, I'm just building up my field. So I personally really like Hornet Queen. If you go on EDH Rec, which is the place that I go to just kind of build the mainframe, build the anatomy of, the skeleton of my deck, that's where I go. Right now, Selvala, in her most popular cards and staples and everything that people mostly put in that deck, you're not going to see things like Hornet Queen on there. And, just other stuff that you'd see in a mono green deck. So I went to the Omnath EDH Rec deck, and I kind of put those two guys together. So, you've got your awesome creatures that are going to be in Selvala, and you've got your awesome mana makers that are going to be in Omnath, and I just loaded them both together to make my competitive Selvala deck, which I'll show you later. But for this one, since it's casual, I didn't put just any old big creature in there. I wanted big creatures in there that were going to be cool. I still try to make sure that the deck is fast and competitive, and that I'm not just throwing a bunch of random crap in there. So I make sure that I usually have no less than 35 lands. For this one, I think it's either 37 or 38. For a mono color deck, you really aren't going to be that worried about mana, since you're probably going to have a Caged Sun in there, and, just stuff that gives you +1/+1 to your mana pool. And green's got a great way of doing that. Pretty much I've replaced, what is it that can double my mana? Mana Reflection with Zendikar Resurgent, which is, add 1 more mana to your mana pool, as well as when a creature attacks, or when you cast a creature, draw a card. Into the Wilds, which you can see in my hand, is pretty much my Garruk's Horde or Oracle of Moldiah. Oh, it's pretty much my Oracle of Moldiah. It's just an Oracle that doesn't have play an extra land and isn't a 2/4. But it's the same mana cost and enchantment. Look at the top card of your library. You don't have to reveal it, and if it's a land, you get to put it on the battlefield. So that's really cool. Other than that, Outland Colossus is awesome for Triumph of the Hordes because he can only be blocked by one creature. So you're gonna be doing, you're gonna be trampling over, and you're gonna be doing Infect, and you're gonna be giving him more counters. So he'll be a 12/12 by the end of his fight, and then you'll be, paying 1 green to tap for 12 mana. So yeah. I got an asceticism in here, which is awesome. That's something I do have in my real deck. Like I said, everything in here is, my real deck. So it's really solid. It's amazing in multiplayer because it just slowly builds. And then, once people do start to notice it, it's a little too late because I've got a bunch of 6/6s on the field and 8/8s. 9/9s and things like that. So as soon as you get one semi-big creature on the field, it's pretty much everything's coming out. If you put a 4/4 out, you're tapping for 4 extra mana. Turn 5. So instead of 4 mana, you now have 8 mana. And you cast your 8/8, and now you have 12 mana, 16 mana. So it gets huge fast. Very, very fast. So people are going to want to focus on getting rid of Selvala because that is your main way of getting your shit out. But the thing is, once you have your shit out, people have to choose between, am I going to try to kill that Terastodon or that Gaia's Revenge? Because that's a barrel staring at me right now. Or am I going to kill Selvala and not get rid of any of the big stompies, but get rid of the possibility of more big stompies. Unfortunately, the more they stall that, the more you're going to get actual mana, actual land in your mana pool, and killing Selvala isn't really going to make much of a difference anymore. So it's pretty much kill Selvala right away, or you're going to be in big trouble unless people decide to 3v1 you. So Selvala is a hell of a lot of fun. She's broken competitively and casually. So she's definitely a really cool commander to look into if you're wanting to use a legendary creature out of Take the Crown, which there are a few which are really fun. Leovold is an absolute bitch. I hate him because I can't draw more than 1 card a turn. Also, keep in mind, Selvala's first ability, which you might just skim over because it just is boring at first. Selvala's first ability, can benefit your opponent early in the game, because what it says is if a creature enters the battlefield that's power is bigger than any other creature's power on the battlefield, that player gets to draw a card. That's not going to happen too often. Selvala is a power of 2. Maybe they'll cast a creature the power of 3 or 4 and draw a card. But I'm going to be casting 6/6s and 8/8s soon, so nobody else is going to be drawing for a very long time. But yeah, this is Selvala. Like you can see, I hit my Triumph. I thought, you know what? They've got 6 creatures. I've got 14 creatures that are able to attack and now have +1/+1 and now have Trample and Infect. No matter what you do, I'm going to be killing you. But he tapped all his lands, so I'm like, okay, not GG yet. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you can do. And it turns out he casts a Dictate of Erebos. And Ailey can make you sack creatures, so I'm like, okay. But turns out there was nothing else he could do. So thanks for watching. I'll be coming out with my next deck soon. I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.